Hello everyone, Tori here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Tori. My channel is all about teacher and cooking related content. If you are a returning viewer or returning subscriber, hey, if you have not, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Today, I'm going to be giving you all a little bit of advice. For those of you who do not know, I am a second grade teacher, and one of the biggest things that I had a lot of questions about when I first started teaching was classroom management. How do I go about setting up a classroom management plan? How do I make sure that the kids understand and actually follow my classroom management plan? There were a lot of things going through my mind, but I have found 5 things that work extremely well for me within my classroom. And so I'm here today to share those things with you all. So here we go. The number 1 tip that I will give you for classroom management is on the very first day of school, make up the classroom rules with your students. This is actually something that my aunt shared with me. My aunt is actually a retired educator, and she told me that's something that she did on the very first day of school. She would sit down with her students and say, hey, let's go ahead and make up some classroom rules. Or the way I approached it this year, I got out a really big giant sticky note and a dry erase marker. And I asked my students, I said, hey, so what are some rules that you all think will benefit our classroom? What are some things that you want to see happen or some things that you don't want to see happen? And I explained to them the importance of us all getting to know one another and making sure that we're all in a really safe environment. And I'll even kind of sometimes start the conversation off like, hey, we're going to be spending a lot of time together this year. So let's go ahead and come to an understanding. Let's go ahead and talk about, what you all would like to see take place within the classroom and what you would not like to see take place within the classroom. I'll listen to their feedback. I'll write on the sticky note. Sometimes they might say like no bullying or no talking back, no running in the hallway. And I let all of them list everything and I'll say, okay, anything else? And then at the top of the list, I'll write my rule. And my rule is obey the teacher. And I go into explaining to them why that rule is so important, because while they are at school, I am responsible for them. If I see that something's about to happen, or I'm trying to protect you from something happening, or I'm trying to, resolve a situation before it goes a little bit too far, I need for you to follow the directions that I am giving you. I want to make sure that we are all safe and that we are all in a very relaxed and positive environment. That way, learning can fully take place. Okay. The number 2 tip that works for me is class callback. Some of the ones that we use, I might say pepperoni, and then the kids will say pizza. Another good one is if I say to infinity and they say and beyond. Different things like that, different callbacks, or attention getters is another word for them. And I absolutely love these because if your students do a center rotation or anything like that, or if you have them doing any partner work and you need to get their attention all of a sudden, it's a lot easier to do the class callbacks than saying, all right, everybody stop. Okay, put it, they're already used to the callbacks, the way you're not having to overexert yourself or necessarily raise your voice to get their attention, because they know, okay, she wants my attention by doing this class callback, and that's it. Absolutely love class callbacks. Number 3. And this one actually is going to tie into another tip, but we'll get there. But tip 3 is actually building relationships, getting to know your students. And one thing that I have found about really building relationships with students is that once you have built that relationship and that foundation, they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to make you upset. They want to continue to make you smile and make you proud. So really building relationships. And even if every day you do an icebreaker, like say, especially the first week of school. So let's say the first week of school, every day, you say, okay, we're going to do an icebreaker. I'm going to go around and everyone's going to tell me their favorite color. My favorite color is, and you tell them, and then you go around the room getting everyone's favorite color. The next day you might say, all right, let's do another icebreaker. Today is your favorite food. My favorite food is, and then you go around, favorite food. Another one might be, when I grow up, I want to be a... When I grew up, I want to be and then I'll tell what I wanted to be when I grew up, which was a teacher, and have all them go around. Another one, my favorite thing to do on the weekend is, you'll tell it and then they'll tell it. And so it's something that's super simple, but it's also breaking that ice. It's getting them used to being around you as well as being around their peers in a way that is super subtle yet effective. Number 4, positive redirection. And let me tell you what I mean by this. I'm not saying you don't address when there are negative behaviors taking place in the classroom. I am simply saying that you focus more on the positive, because again, with building those relationships, when a student knows that they are upsetting you or anything like that, they want to cut it out. They don't want to continue doing it once they have that relationship built with you. That's the beauty of that positive redirection. If someone is doing something, positive redirection is something as simple as, oh, I love how so-and-so is working on his assignment so quietly. Oh, I love how so-and-so has completed her assignment and she's already working on the next thing. She's reading silently at her desk. That student who might not be behaving how you would like for them to might kind of look around and be like, well, I want a compliment too. It will kind of redirect them. Or sometimes it just, it's just a matter of going up to them and saying, hey, I need you to refocus. What are we supposed to be doing right now? Listening to them. Okay, so I would appreciate it if you would do that. Thank you. And my 5th and final tip, one-on-one conversations. This is a big one. Sometimes you hear the phrase, oh, one bad apple spoiled the bunch. Somebody does something and you get onto that student right there in front of everybody. When you really think about it, that's not always effective. So sometimes it's a matter of going to that student's desk or pulling them aside and saying, hey, what's going on? You're not behaving the way that you would normally behave. I'm having to get on to you more and more. And I just want to know what exactly is going on with you, because we normally don't have these types of issues. Is everything all right? Do I need to make a phone call? Let me know what's going on. And when they see that you've pulled them aside, instead of embarrassing them in front of the whole class, or instead of calling them out in front of the whole class, honestly, they develop a whole nother level of respect for you, because they see, okay, she cares about how this will make me feel. She or he didn't call me out in front of the whole class when they could have, even if they're acting up in front of the whole class. It means a lot to them. It really does. So just to review, number 1 tip, make rules together on the very first day. And also, making rules on the very first day, make sure that you follow through with those rules. Make sure you go through rules as well as consequences of breaking those rules, and you have to follow through. Like if you say, oh, well, you didn't do this, or you were running in the hallway, or you made a bad choice, so that's 5 minutes off of your recess time. And then when it's time to go to recess, it's like, well, go on and play. They're not going to take that seriously. They're not going to take what you say seriously. They're going to say, well, I got in trouble last time and she let me play, so I might as well do it again this time. Don't be that person. Another one, class callbacks. You can look these up. You can Google them. You can get on Teachers Pay Teachers. They are all over the place. You can come up with some of your own. You'll know your students. You'll know what works for them and what does not. Tip number 3, building those relationships, getting to know your students, asking them, so how was your weekend? What did you do over the weekend? Oh, okay. Do you have big plans for the break? Okay, great. Sounds awesome. Yes. Well, what did you do over the summer? Just kind of getting to know them, because it really makes them feel like you care. It makes them feel like you care about what's going on with them and things that they're going through. So that's super important. And tip number 4, positive redirection. If you see them doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, instead of necessarily embarrassing them, focusing on the positivity that's taking place in the room around them, complimenting the other students that are doing right, saying, hey, it would make my heart so happy if everyone was on task and doing this and doing that, being positive as opposed to pointing out that specific or every single negative. Okay, not saying don't address the negative behavior. I'm just saying be open to speaking more on the positivity within your classroom as opposed to the negativity that might be going on with that one student. And the 5th one, one-on-one conversations. Pulling that student aside, letting them know that you care about them, letting them know that, hey, I noticed that your behavior might be a little bit off today. I noticed your behavior is a little bit off today. what's going on. Let's talk about it, you know, different things like that. Really letting them know that you care. You know, sometimes you might have to tell them, you know, I chose to talk to you one-on-one. I didn't want to embarrass you in front of everyone, but I need to know what's going on with you. You know, just letting them know, because that makes them realize, oh, wow, that's true. She could have embarrassed me in front of everybody, but she chose to pull me out here and we talk about it like this, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in weekly for more teacher and cooking related content. Until next time, I'm Tori. Bye.